if you're a real estate agent who feels busy all the time, but yet you still feel behind on everything, then there's a good chance that you're making the same mistake that I made early on in my career.
And the mistake isn't a lack of effort or talent. It's thinking that you can outwork the chaos.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Thrive Alliance. Super excited that you're here. As you know, if you're new to this, understand that Rick and I come together, provide you guys some content based on our experience. And every time you watch our content, just know that we're coming from a place of being obedient to God. We're coming from a place of wanting to be better as individuals, emotionally, mentally, and also in the way that we perform for our job and how we show up in our lives and with our families.
I love that, absolutely. Thrive Alliance is Pedro and Rick, two separate perspectives coming together like two sides of a coin to add value. Let's talk about it.
So my brother Rick, man, I'm excited that we're here, but I want to talk about something that I think...
Talk to me.
Not only did you and I go through it, right, at a high level, but we have witnessed tons of agents go through this. And I see it every day. So why agents avoid systems early on in their career? And I can tell you this, starting with me. Do you know what early success can do? Not only for your pockets, but also in the way that it gives you false confidence. In the way that you start so good.
Yeah.
I started in my mind the first month, just being totally transparent with, first month, 3 contracts. And everybody's eyes, superstar coming, watch out.
Right.
Here I go, right?
Right.
And then I started to go. And this confidence that I had never seen at this level started to just increase and increase and increase.
Right.
And then what happened is, people warn me about systems.
Right.
What system do you use? You know, you have a lot of closings every month, Pedro. What are you doing to make sure that you keep it sticky with them, that they don't forget about you? Just, I text them. But right now I have so many clients, so many transactions. I'll just worry about those systems later next year because right now I'm busy. I'm good. I'll do it for next year. That's year 2, year 3. Yeah. Right now I'm good. Bro, I'm good at what I do. I'm getting better. People are clapping for me.
Right.
I'm good. Have you ever experienced anything like that?
Man, you are talking to the crowd. You're preaching right now. Let me tell you something.
Yes, Lord.
You know what I mean? Like year 1, 27 deals closed. Had no idea what I was doing in real estate. And I will tell you that just to your point, a lot of times agents that early success, as opposed to creating systems to predicate the long-term success, it's because it's boring for most real estate agents. Bro, I closed 3. You were closing 3 deals in the first month. Systems are fooey. And the other part to that is ego. What you got to tell me? I'm making it work. I'm winning.
I don't need to get better.
I'm winning right now doing what I'm doing. I'm doing it. What systems do I need? And I think the last piece of the puzzle in this regard, and I'm talking about from experience from Rick Graham. I am and have been a victim of this myself. When it comes to associating systems with restriction, like somehow because I have a framework that I work within, that's a restriction for who I am and how my business can be. Not realizing that system only elevates, it concentrates all the effort, all the things that we do extremely well at a very high level. It concentrates those things down so that it allows us to elevate. So how do you feel doing 3? Imagine doing 4 and 5 because you have the systems to support it.
Dude, you said a word that just slaps me in the face because I hear it so much. I don't want systems because I'm restricted. That is the total wrong way to approach it because instead of restriction, do you know what systems do? They give you freedom. So you think restriction, but in reality is the opposite. It's opening doors so that you can do what you want to do, what matters to you. But also, why we don't set up systems at the beginning? Because it feels optional until it's not. Year 2, 3, and 4, when I didn't have those 3 closings every 2 weeks, now it didn't feel optional. Now it felt like I really needed those systems. And now I'm learning in year 3 what maybe I should have learned in year 1 at the beginning.
Not maybe. You should have. We should have. You should have.
And, that adrenaline is real.
That dopamine hit is real.
You ever heard of like the mom that like the son gets hit by a car and the mom is able to lift the car by the adrenaline?
Right.
And they uses that instead of, same way in real estate. You get so caught up in all these deals back to back and you don't even worry about the structure. You're a mess. I remember my first year, if you were to ask me, Pedro, what time I don't know, I'm just going to pick up the phone and call 20 people and I don't know, I'll figure it out. I got 2 inspections tomorrow, 3 closings today. There's no structure. It's just simply adrenaline taking me by, but it runs out.
It always does. I remember somebody asked me, because I went from 27 deals in my first year to over 35 in my second year. So it's a healthy growth of over 10%. And they were like, Rick, man, damn, how are you doing that? Like, how do you create this kind of success? And I promise you on everything I love, I looked at the person dead in the eyes and I was like, I had no idea, besides the grace of God, how this was happening, right? So obviously, there's opportunities that are being provided by the brokerage, and I'm in the right environment where there's other people being highly successful. But when you asked me the question, there's nothing that I could tell you that would create a duplicatable system. So that what I know, somebody else could implement and to be just as successful.
What's the blueprint? You have no clue.
Blueprint. What's the blueprint?
We do know we show up. We do know we're not afraid of working hard. But if you were to ask, what separates you? What is the...
I show up, I work hard.
God just blessed me with a lot of different clients. Right. I'm just very lucky. I mean, that's one of the things. But the goal is creating that blueprint, and that's what it comes down to. But there is a cost for avoiding systems. And whether you pay it at the beginning or you pay it at the end, that could eventually lead you to quit real estate, there is a cost.
Yes.
So let's talk about what the cost of avoiding systems will do for you. You want to talk about it a little bit and then I'll dive into it? One thing is for certain is that there will be a cost for not implementing systems.
Yeah.
Now, whether it happens at the beginning, in the middle, or towards the end, that is up to you. But the quicker you identify the consequences and you act on it, the better you are. But I want to really dive into what the cost is for avoiding system. What actually costs you in your business and what it can lead to if you don't implement systems right now as an agent.
Absolutely. So let me, just a quick story about me being vulnerable in my story, in my journey in real estate, right? So when I first got started in real estate, it was chaotic and I was successful. Everything was moving at 100 miles an hour. But it wasn't until I realized the cost of this that it forced me to a change and adapt to start creating systems and processes so that I can correct the mistake. And part of that was my personal life took a huge hit. If anybody knows me knows that I'm a family man. I'm a father before anything else, a child of God. I'm a father. And it wasn't until I started missing activities with my son that I was like, wait a minute. 3 deals a month, 2 deals a month, 5 deals, none of it's worth it. I can't miss these moments. I can't miss his karate belt passing getting from a yellow belt to a green belt. Like I can't miss those moments, right? So my personal life took a hit.
Right.
And that's what happened to me. Like my personal life took a hit.
Right. No, and I think, I went through that myself. But it all came down to the adrenaline and the mess that I had going on throughout my busyness. But it all came because I didn't have systems. But not only did I fail my family, or did I feel that I was failing my family, but I was also failing my clients, right? I was inconsistent with the income. Therefore, I was also failing my family by not being able to make plans that could actually be consistent and predictable back to back monthly consistently.
Right.
It was like this, right? Up and down, up and down. And the highs were super highs, but the lows were lows. But also missing client appointments because I had too many. Maybe I wasn't keeping track of them. There were people that were ready to buy and I wasn't there because I was busy on other people and not really keeping account of who I was working with. The mental exhaustion, dude. the mental exhaustion every day. Not only was I tired physically, but I was by the time I would get home, I had zero in me to give quality time to my family.
Right. And
I'm exhausted. I'm tired.
And I will tell you, outside looking in, it's not worth it, right? It stops being worth it. And you mentioned something about your calendar, and I want to touch on that. When stress becomes the system, that means the calendar we're using is chaos, right? And there's a lack of intention, right? And that's so important to people. And I think it's worth mentioning it again, is when you're stressed, the 1,000 miles per hour, the adrenaline, the dopamine is pumping, that's chaos. There's no intention in that. And things will and do fall through the cracks. And that's when we start missing opportunities. And that's when all the blessings and the grace that God gives us in our business and in our personal life, they dry up.
Yeah.
Right? Because we're not being good stewards of those opportunities. We're not being good students of right where we are in this moment, let alone taking care of the things and the people that matter.
Maximizing what God gave you. He 100%. Gave you this, but what are you doing with it? But I just want to go back to one word you said that really stuck out to me. And I want to emphasize it for those watching, to making sure that they don't misinterpret. When you say it's not worth it, we're not saying that it's not worth it to be successful, to have a lot of business. We're saying it's not worth it to not have systems in play. We're not saying by all means, be successful.
I need you to win, boo-boo.
I'm not saying be okay with bare minimum. I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying when you do have all these blessings that God is giving you, do a good job at keeping those and don't let them walk away. It's like me dumping a load of just vegetables and fruit at your house. But because you don't have a system to contain it all, most of it goes to the neighbor's yard and the other neighbors, and you end up with a quarter of what the truckload was. And then what did you do with all them blessings I gave you? You don't have systems to protect it all and keep it for what God gave you for yourself.
That's a great way to put it, man. Protect the blessings. Be responsible for all of the things that you're experiencing right now. And I think it's when we don't have the systems that, to your point, fatigue starts to happen. Decision fatigue is a thing. Decision fatigue is a thing.
You don't have enough in the tank to make a sound decision, right? Because you have too many things to worry about than the things that do matter, and the decisions that should take up most of your thinking ability. You're not able to do that because you already spent it in other things, right? It maybe sending 5 text messages that said, hey, do you want to see houses? When maybe a system could have done that for you.
This is a great question. So my mentor asked me this question, and this is worth mentioning in this segment of our talk today. Have you ever asked yourself, what should I do first? Not the day before, not when you're setting your intentions and calendar, but you woke up, and in that day, you were asking yourself, what should I do first today? Is that a system or a lack of a system? Is that intention or lack of intention? Are you being a good steward, or are you just showing up?
Yeah, I mean, if you're asking yourself that question when you wake up, then you're not being a good steward of your time. You're just showing up, right? Yeah. Because you should already have a system in play that answers that question. I think the answer to that question should be, what other things could I focus on? Because everything else is already taken care of by my systems. But I want to dive into something else. So we understand the cost of not having systems, but let's talk about the moment that it clicked. So Rick, I love that. And I think we identified, and we now understand that we cannot afford to not have systems. We know the cost for not having those. For sure. Because we've experienced it. So we're sharing it so that the agents watching do not have to go through this.
If we just plant a seed in somebody's brain today from this conversation about, man, what can I possibly do to automate my business? What can I possibly do to create a predictable system? That's enough. And
one quick takeaway in order to do that, just something real quick before we go into the next topic. Every week, ask yourself, what is one pain point of my business this week that I can find a solution to take care of either with AI or with a system.
Yes.
Go one thing a week or one a month.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the month, you have many systems. Okay. So I want to talk a little bit about the moment that everything clicked. When did you start to realize that you had to implement systems? And I will tell you this. For me, the moment that physically I could not perform at the same level, that was the first telltale sign.
Consistency.
Physically.
Love it.
I can no longer show up with energy. Now I'm tired. What used to work for me, going to bed at 11 midnight, still replying to text messages
Right.
for clients and different things because I didn't have a boundary.
Been there.
And typing offers at midnight because I didn't do it at 8 a.m. when I should have done it. Right? That's when I was like, something really needs to change. I'm tired. I'm exhausted.
Yep.
I'm mentally incapable of doing more. And let alone, I cannot even think about scaling. How could I do more than this? More? Like I'm already capped out.
Yeah.
But I want more, but I'm not capable of doing more.
You don't see
Why? Because I want to do it all myself.
Yeah. So what I'm hearing from you, two things. So what I'm hearing from what you just shared is pressure, right? You know what removes pressure? Structure. Systems relieve the pressure. Systems take away all of the little tasks that are necessary and so very important to our business. It takes away those little tasks. It creates predictability. And then from predictability comes freedom, right? Where the little tasks that need to happen every single day, our systems are taking care of it, which relieves the pressure, which gives us back the freedom of time and energy and focus and the lack of tiredness that we were all just talking about. And I think the biggest thing that in that sequence of events that happen is we find consistency again. And now we have the freedom, the energy, the time to talk about that growth, that level up. And it's the consistency in real estate is the hardest thing to find.
Yeah.
Avoiding those high highs and the low lows. The consistency.
100%. The consistency is the hardest thing. But once you fall in love with showing up, then you can actually start to build that. But it's also for me realizing that there's only a matter of time before the hustle runs out. Hustle is not scalable. You cannot scale hustle.
How many Pedros are there in the world?
Just one.
Just one. You were one of one, baby.
There was two. One died in 86, and then it's
Bless his
me.
soul.
And God bless. And it's me, right?
It's just you now.
That's it. So you
But you see what I'm
cannot
saying?
scale hustle, bro.
Yeah.
Hustle is, if you got it, good. But at the end of the day, it's like motivation. It's going to stop working at some point.
Right.
And it's going to go away. And when you talk about building habits, that's what it's about, because it's the discipline of doing those habits,
right,
and sticking to the habits. Motivation always runs out. It's a beautiful thing to have it, but motivation is like a pre-workout drink. You take it, it feels good, you feel jittery. I'm gonna lift the whole gym.
How you do it?
But what about the days that you don't have the pre-workout and
right,
you don't feel like lifting the whole gym? You just show up like, do you not go to work out, or do you say, well, even if I don't feel it, I'm
right,
gonna do it? Right.
Right. I take that in what I want to add to it, I guess, or the last piece to the puzzle for me in this topic of, the moment it clicks for agents is the moment you realize that you don't control it all. You do not control it all. The moment you realize that you need help, you need help. I needed help. I need help. And last but not least, that it's only by the grace of God that you are exactly where you are, doing exactly what you're doing with the opportunities that you have in front of you. It's not until those three things happen that you'll make the change. You'll start seeking out what that looks like for you, because it's different for all of us. We said that you're a one of one. Well, guess what? Rick Graham is a one of one, right? Without ego, I'm a one of one, and I need help.
Right. Yeah. And systems are not optional. You either implement them or you become a victim of burnout.
And you get the cost. The cost happens either up front or at the end. But either way, without them,
you decide which one you're going to do, which one you're going to be. But if you already capped out, you cannot add more. So you decide. Do I add another Pedro, or do I just figure out what is wrong with me right now? Start being accountable. Let me identify what is not working. Remove it.
Right.
Replace it with better habits, new habits, and stick to them. Through discipline, I will build endurance, and through endurance, I will build faith. You cannot continue to grow if you're only working in the business and also yourself. You got to do them together.
Yeah. It's a journey, guys and ladies. It's a journey. One thing will lead to the next. And I will tell you that consistency only happens when you understand that discipline over motivation will lead you to the goals, while focusing on the things that you have to do every single day with intention to do those things. Not waking up and saying, what should I do? What do I need to do? What should go first? Right? Waking up with a plan, right? So the goal of all of this conversation, I think, is to implement a system that allows you to duplicate your energies and time and effort without trying to carbon copy another Pedro, which allows you to scale your business, whether that's I did 20 deals this year and I want to do 25 next year, whether that's I want to open up my franchise, I want to open up a team, I want to coach, I want to mentor, whatever those things are, whatever the goals are. If you just start with step one, realizing it's a process and a journey, and if you're faithful to that journey, you're faithful to the blessings and the opportunities that you have, you're a good steward of those moments, you will get there.
At the end of the day, bro, you really got to just embrace the fact that systems are not optional. Like, they're the foundation.
You're right.
It's not an upgrade. They're the foundation. You're not upgrading. It's the concrete behind it. And without it, you cannot build something that is going to be sustainable. So those are the systems, right? You will not get back to time that you invest in something. And if you are going to waste some time or invest it into something, might as well be to the things that mean the most to you. Whether it's showing up for your clients with the best attitude, showing up for your family, the things that matter to you, not spending 10 hours doing things that something or someone else or a system could do for you on your behalf.
Love it. Agreed. So Pedro, my turn to ask a question. We talked about when it clicks. We talked about the cost of not having that system. But what is a system? What is it really? What does that mean to you when somebody says that?
Yeah, I mean, systems are, by the way, when you mention the word system, I don't want you to think as something that is huge, right? Because a lot of times they do not have to be complex at all, right?
Really?
Small, little, tiny things. It could be implementing a calendar, right?
Okay.
Reminders, right? It could be using your actual CRM that you already have if you're in real estate with the tools and the features that it already has that maybe you have never even touched in the past because you rather do it yourself and send 1,000 messages a day by yourself with, hey, you want to see houses, when the system can do it for you, right? And you're not thinking about it. Systems are things that are going to work on your behalf even when you don't feel like showing up. So you can start with small things, showing up, but also align the systems. First of all, identify what it is that you could improve on. So maybe as you go through your week of work, and if you already feel overwhelmed, do an inventory, what's not working, but then also say, is there one thing that if I implement this one thing, it could take care of 1 or 2, 3 of this pain points right here. And that is one system that can take care of that. And then next week you do the same thing and add another system that could take care of the other thing. And you go on, so forth and so on until you start to develop 4, 5, 6. The more systems you have, the more efficient you can be. And the top people, they don't have 1 or 2. They usually have anywhere from 5 and above.
You gave a lot of really good information. And 2 things I took away from that is it doesn't have to be complex. We don't have to make this overly complex. I'll give you an example. Starting every Sunday and you plan out your week in advance. These are things I need to do. These are the time frames I need to do it in. These are the tasks that need to be accomplished. These are the content I need to create. These are when I'm going to post them. This is when I'm going to go to the gym. This is planning out your week in advance. Could that be a system?
Absolutely.
I'll take it a step further. Something simpler than that. Simply setting boundaries. Hey, I don't take business calls after 9. My family time is from 6:30 to 8. That's when my daughter is awake. That's when we're having dinner together. That's when we're going to pray together. That's when I put her to bed. It's just simply having boundaries. Can that be considered a system?
I mean, number one, that's a habit and a system.
Oh, my man's passionate.
I'm telling you.
Don't mess with the family time.
Dude, you know me for many years. And you know that I don't play with my calendar and family time. I've been known for my calendar. You know that. I became known, number one, for producing a lot, but also for my discipline with time.
Yes.
Because I never played about it. And you know what's the funny part about it? Well, not funny, but sad. Even though the calendar and I was there with them, with family, I still wasn't present for lack of systems.
No. I mean, I get you, dude. Like, the reason why I say that because it hurts, man.
Dude, I laugh so I don't have to cry about it.
Because I've been there, man. Like I've been there, and then sharing these moments with you, like these vulnerabilities. A lot of times, people get on these podcasts or on content on social media, and there's a lack of realism. There's a lack of genuineness. Like, I have failed in order to succeed. I have failed in order to learn. Just for the opportunity to learn a lesson, I had to fail at something.
Right.
You know? So when we're talking about these things, man, and we're touching on these things about what systems are, and we're trying to simplify the process for people, and I'm giving you live examples. You're sharing these live examples.
Yeah.
It's so that people understand that if you just start with one thing, to your point, this week, we're going to figure out one system, one boundary, one intention, that if we do it consistently, it will simplify our business. It relieves the pressure, right? So it's so important that when we're talking about what systems really are, make it relevant to you.
Yeah.
Right. So for you, it was super important that you blocked out your time. You were managing your time. You dedicated time to family. For me, when I first started in real estate, dude, I was taking phone calls at 11:30 at night. I was trying to write an offer one time at 1 o'clock in the morning. I reached out to my mentor at the time, and he was like, "Don't you ever call me at 1 o'clock in the morning again?" He didn't really say that, but that was the emotion, right? Because he thought it was an emergency. So he answered. But what I realized was there's no such thing as an emergency in real estate. There's urgencies, but the title comes out open.
There's priorities.
There's priorities. Title comes out open at 1.
Nah.
The inspector's not answering your phone call at 1.
Right.
Right. No, the lender's not working at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Definitely
either.
not.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You see where I'm going?
And I love that you said emotions, because systems actually remove emotions. Right? Yeah. When you show up and you already don't like the fact that you have 20 different tasks and you still know that you have to make 4 or 5 phone calls later, what emotion does that make you feel, knowing that you haven't done anything, but you still got to show up and, hey, I'm your realtor and I'm very happy to help you, but I'm not really happy because I hate the fact that I didn't do anything today.
And you can't hide it.
No, it shows.
Every time.
You cannot deny it. The same way you cannot hide the fact that if you're struggling financially as an agent and you show up with a client that is most likely about to make the next step and purchase, you're going to show the fact that you are starving and hungry and you have the commission cologne coming out of your mouth every time you speak to them. You cannot hide it.
You can't.
Right? Or when you're frustrated because you don't have more deals or more clients. Systems remove the emotions no matter how you feel today, my friend. Maybe you got the flu like I did a couple weeks ago. But the systems ran on. No.
Okay.
No, that's why we're here. But the systems ran on my behalf.
Yes.
So no matter if I didn't feel, guess what? My clients still got the Happy New Year's.
How good is that feeling?
It's incredible.
How good of a feeling is it that you've built a business with systems and processes in place that you could get sick and your business still runs?
It runs. And I would get responses. And while I'm sitting in bed with Tylenol and NyQuil, I'm looking at clients responding and I was like, oh my God. It's like another me working on my behalf, and I'm so grateful. But I put in that time to build that system. And that actually brings me now to the identity shift, right? How do I actually get better? I know what the systems are now. We know what the systems are now, the importance of them, the fact that we cannot afford to not have them. But now, how do we shift our identity in order to start building those, implementing those? And I think for me, the most important step is understand that you are not the engine, right? You are not the engine. You drive the car, but you are not the engine. And if you don't water the plant and build systems to not overly stress the engine so it doesn't blow up, then you can have a longevity of that car. You ever seen those 98 Civics still rolling around and they last
Was it a while here and there?
And you're like, why are this? They've been taken care of. So they got their tune-ups every month.
Yep.
Right? Oil changes, all that. Same thing applies to you as an individual, but you are seeing yourself as the engine, and that's why burnout comes around. That's why you cannot escape it. My friend, you are the driver. How do you take care of the engine? Start thinking of that, but also don't be the business, right?
That's a whole topic, bro. Listen, I don't mean to stop you, but bro, and I don't think a lot of people are going to get that part.
Yeah.
Don't be the business.
Yeah.
But that's a whole topic.
But you are the business owner, however. You decide how it drives. Or
at least you should be.
And you control it. You understand that if you don't show up, right, can you still eat when you're not able to show up? That is the question you need to ask yourself. But also think about the future self, who you want to become. So when you start thinking of identity shift, always take time to reflect in who do I want to be? Not just focus on the goals. I want to make $1 million. I want to be a top producer. Think about what would a top producer do?
Right.
What type of systems would a top producer have? A top producer, not only that does fantastic in business, but is also present with their family, goes in maybe 3 vacations a year. Top producer that works out, that is healthy, that shows up, that doesn't work 17 hours a day. What would that top producer do? And what type of systems would they have? And then you start to identify and start shifting your identity of that person. So what do you think about it?
I mean, like, you touched on a lot of good points. The only thing I think I would add to that is maturity in business can sometimes look boring. So maturity in business can sometimes look boring because that excitement, that chaos isn't there anymore, because we created systems. Like any professional business owner, we created systems for longevity. We created systems that allow for growth without the collapse, without I'm sick today, so my whole business stops. So a lot of times, maturity in business looks boring. So when we're talking about that identity shift, we have to be okay with the fact that 70% of everything that we used to do is done through our systems and processes. So it allows us to just focus on that 30%, which we can put 100% of that 30%, right? Of those activities. But it can be boring sometimes, because now instead of us having 10 tasks to do in the day, we have 3 tasks to do in a day, and we're still being successful. Not only are we being successful, but we built for longevity.
Yeah.
So the growth of our business does not lead to collapse. And I think that that's so important when we're talking about identity. And I want to just add that to the process.
I love that, dude. I think that is probably one of the most important things is, not having to show up, but yet those 2-3 things that you do are so meaningful, because you're able to give so much in the best of you, the very best. In real estate, we always hear focus on the money-making activities. Okay, fantastic. But how do you actually show up to make the money-making activities as a person, as your identity?
Right.
So we identified the identity shift. We identified when is the right time to make those changes. Now we're going to talk about some of the ways we can actually start implementing the systems, and also for you to be aware and start to figure out what needs to work. What type of systems do you need to implement? Start do like an inventory. A lot of times, we put up systematizing. So start doing weekly. Right? Write down everything you need to do. Number 1, start with the goal that you have, but not as a goal as in metrics, as in the person, the identity you want to be, and then backtrack. And then based on that, you can go into your habits and start to develop and say, what chaos right now is really working me? What is one thing right now that is driving me crazy or is taking most of my time right now? What is that one thing that if I find a system to take care of this, I'm able to show for the other things better, more efficiently? What is that one thing?
If I had to give some advice, all right, to the people that are listening in this conversation with us, I would tell people to start small. First thing I would tell somebody to do is start small. We don't have to reinvent the entire wheel. Let's maybe reinvent one of the spokes this week and another one next week, or maybe two the next week, whatever the case may be. But start small, right? And then I would tell them that progression over perfection. As long as we are moving in the right direction, as long as we're progressing towards our goals, towards the freedom and the relief of the pressure that we've been talking about, the avoidance of burnout, progression over perfection is all that you need to focus on. Start small, progression over perfection. And then I would tell them that consistency is going to compound daily. Consistency compounds daily and quietly. There's not going to be a big flag in the wind. Nobody's waving flags around and saying, oh, he's being consistent. Rick's doing what he said he was going to do. Rick is planning his week out the week in advance. Rick is setting healthy boundaries. Nobody's waving the flag, right? So, but we know that if progression is happening and we're doing the small things every single day, consistently, that the change, the implementation of our systems will happen.
I love it. But I think it's super important to really understand where your time is being wasted the most. Like, know where you struggle the most. If you know that when you get to your computer early in the morning and you just mess around and watch YouTube instead of working, do something. Build a system for that time so that at least, if you're not at least changing the habit yet, then at least something is being done on your behalf in those 2-3 hours.
2-3 hours of YouTube?
So you'll be surprised. Whatever it is for you. Maybe you spend a little bit too long at the gym talking to people when you should already be at home following up with people.
That's fair.
Build a system at least to get around it. A lot of times you cannot, if you cannot change the behavior right now, or you're not willing to change the habits, then at least build a system right now. So identify when are the times that you struggle with the most?
Right.
When are the times that you could fix or have a system that could work for you? Identify those moments where the time goes or is easy for you to waste it.
I love that, man. So I think that was a really good conversation. We always try to end our these moments, these videos in the same way, by giving grace to God, glory to God, to the opportunities that we have, by also saying God bless, and God bless.
Always.